loser! You gotta fight!
All new Wednesday. 5 losses has ATT desperate for answers.
Dan needs to change up his strategy because he's getting blown out of this competition.
Now, in a last-ditch effort,
we're gonna have to come out with some big guns.
ATT shakes up their roster.
This decision that Dan makes could make or break him.
Will the wake-up call turn things around?
This is a pivotal moment for the American top team.
The Ultimate Fighter, all new Wednesday at 10, only on Fox Sports 1.
Welcome to another TUF 21 fantasy recap brought to you by Bookie Beatdown. Obviously, Cody Saftik, our man Chase Kaiser behind the glass, and myself, Paul Shaughnessy, breaking down week 6 of TUF 21, Black Zillions versus ATT, and not exactly the most exciting week all around. And it's kind of shown in the points that people scored. There was your regular language censors, but there wasn't really any blow-ups in the house. There wasn't that much time in the house, I guess, is the biggest problem of all of it, and that's where most of the points usually get scored. We ended up having Jason Jackson taking on Marcelo Alfaya. Jason Jackson comes away with the decision win. He also gets 5 points for saying bro. And had his language censored for 5 points, and saying that he's doing this for his family for 5 points.
Good points.
He had a good performance. I'll give that to Jason Jackson. Jason Jackson's starting to become the guy in that rookie pool that, you know, besides Graves and his alcoholic tendencies, Jackson's the guy that you want on your team in that division.
Undoubtedly. When we were talking about the rookie pool the other day, you and I said, you know what? I think Jason Jackson, the way that he's just very cocky, very, I don't want to say full himself, but somebody that has a lot of, you know, he's chomping at the bit to get in there and fight these guys. And just from seeing that little interaction between him and Hayder Hassan on the post show, he basically alluded to the fact that, like, we're going to see each other in the finals, man. He didn't directly say it. He strongly hinted towards we're going to see each other in the finals. Seeing this performance against Grillo, I think that's exactly it. Now, This has been a terrible 2 weeks for my team, in particular because when I took a bit of a gamble at the start of the season, I said, you know what? I'm going to go with Andrews Nakahara, and I'm going to go with Marcelo Alfaya. They probably won't get a whole lot of screen time, but that's okay as long as they perform well. Well, no. Andrews Nakahara has had 0 screen time. When he does not say or do anything that's going to score him points. He's knocked out. Alfaya had some screen time, basically said nothing. You know what? He said he's doing it for his family, but he also said he misses his family, which is minus points.
Actually, it caused us 0 points for him on his fight week, which is not a good look. Usually, you get your fight week, you're hoping that this guy scores at least 15 points. If he doesn't manage to win, he gets some points together.
Absolutely. So my saving grace, though, is that Nakahara is probably under medical suspension, so I think he's gone. Alfaya didn't really take a whole lot of damage, so I am really hoping that he'll probably fight again in this tournament somehow.
He did not look good, though. But what was hilarious, and definitely a takeaway from this, was the way he prepares for fights. And Nathan Coy and Michael Graves kind of making fun of him as he's going, he's saying like a sentence, he's like, and I miss my family. He's talking about just like his breathing process during fights. He's like, sometimes you need to control your breath, and sometimes it has to be fast for takedown. This is before the fight, so I'm thinking, yeah, he's gonna win. Yes. And then during the fight, none of that. He looked non-existent. Too relaxed. Maybe he did too many breathing exercises.
He told the coaching staff after the fight, he goes, "Well, I was trying to conserve my energy in the first round." There's only 2 rounds. What are you conserving your energy for? Go and get this.
And you're fighting at 170 pounds. Like, you're not
and Jason Jackson,
you're not a heavyweight.
If anything, Jason Jackson didn't look like he had a whole lot of power, but man, oh man, was that guy fast. He's moving extremely well laterally. His hand speed was phenomenal. And if you're Marcelo Alfaya, you're a BJJ black belt. I mean, you took John Fitch's back and gave him a hell of a go, and end up losing a split decision
Knocked out Valdir Arujo
in 30 seconds. I mean, this is a guy that has the goods, but I mean, he decided I'm going to stand and I'm going to throw with a guy who's far faster than me. And if his game plan was make this rugged and throw punches, he needed to throw more punches. Very flat performance out of him. Kudos to Jason Jackson, who gets the win and scores his team some points. But Team Saftik is kind of sliding a little bit down here. So we need something to pick me back up in the upcoming weeks. Team Saftik hasn't really been impressive
altogether. I actually just tabulated something recently, and not to toot my own horn, which I have been known to do in this
Here it comes.
in this little web series.
Right.
If I didn't get Steve Montgomery, I would be beating everybody in this pool. I'd be up by 10 points.
But you know something? You got Montgomery,
I
pal.
know, but I drafted a great team. That's all I got to really say about that. Anyway, let's run through the rest of the points on most of these guys. We got Hayder Hassan saying bro 5 points. Language Censored 5 points. Pretty standard Hayder Hassan week when he's not
scores
fighting.
Extremely well. He's one of the best players for sure.
Too. Michael Graves, another guy who's a great scorer.
Oh, yeah.
He language censored 5 points. Being shirtless in a normal human area 5 points. He likes doing that too. It's like Hayder Hassan. Hayder Hassan always has his shirt on in normal human areas, for the most part. But Michael Graves is kind of like Sabah Homasi in that way.
Well, the money for him is that it seems like he normally hangs around that little poker table they have.
Yep.
And there's either a beer in his hand, always got his shirt off, and he'll either swear or say bro in the limited time that he
literally,
spends
he
there.
has like 25 seconds of camera
yeah.
time in a 1 hour episode, and he scored 10 points like that.
Yeah, and generally has a Bud Light in his hand or around him. It's great.
Yeah, in the future, we should definitely make it that even if you're not seeming like you're drunk, if
Visibly
you're
drunk should be extra points, but just having a drink.
Drinking an alcoholic beverage on the show should be 5 points. Sabah Homasi, language censored, 5 points. We got Kamaru Usman, language censored. Glenn Robinson, welcome back to the scoring race here. Glenn Robinson, another 5 points. Dan Lambert keeping up his
Always.
every single. No, it's the best thing. I make all the boards for this, and I haven't had to make a board for Dan Lambert in like 5 weeks now.
It's just always the same thing.
I made it week
Always the
one,
same
and
thing.
it's the exact same thing. Language censored, language censored. You can set your watch to it, that's for sure.
With Usman, I'm pretty sure he's had points in every single episode. So this last episode, no Usman. 5 minutes left in the show, he just walks by, he's like, beep. You're like, no, he got 5 points.
Yep.
This guy, I would have to say it would probably Hayder Hassan, Sabah Homasi, Michael Graves, and Usman. In my opinion, seem to be the 4 highest scoring guys. I mean, they're
or
consistent.
At least most consistent.
They're consistent. They score points outside of the house. They score points when they're fighting kind of inside the house. So, I mean, good times. I wish I would have drafted more of them.
The interesting thing about that, what you just said, all 4 of those guys are on my team.
Well. Hey, whoa. You didn't have to look at spoilers, did you? Oh, wait, no. You picked Montgomery.
There is actually no way that you could actually look at spoilers for this.
I know.
Be like, okay, so this Sabah Homasi guy says bro every single
Well, a
episode.
little birdie, and I'm not going to get anybody in trouble on this, but a little birdie who works at American Top Team told another little birdie who works in this office that American Top Team's team completely ran the gamut on them, okay? So if you thought that was pertinent information to you, you would draft a lot of ATT guys. And so far, so good. I don't know what the second half of the season's going to look like, but 5-1 Blackzilian lead, you'd probably end up drafting a lot of ATT guys like Montgomery, guys like Graves, guy like Euros. And when they all lose, you're like, oh no, that guy lied to me. So even if you did have a spoiler, even if you had a good spoiler, it wouldn't really help you all that much.
Was this little birdie?
I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, okay?
Well, you brought it up. You brought it up
I said it was
here.
a little birdie. Come on, get with it, man. A little birdie.
All right, so Cody's been looking at forums for spoilers and stuff. This little birdie that he.
Why is my team so bad then?
Because he tried to cheat and it didn't work out.
That would be funny.
All right, let's get into the top threes. The Paul Shaughnessy list top threes. Unfortunately, we got week 6 top 3. Leonard Willicke with 65 points. We've got that's first place, obviously. Darcy Clausen, Aaron Bronstetter, and Mark Amphivanasuk with 60 points, riding it down in second there. And third place, Chris Fulton and Ben Schuster, 55 points. And overall top 3, we've got Peter Gilbertson and Leonard Willicke with 365 points. Michael Mancini, Aaron Bronstetter, and Mark Amphivanasuk, 355 points. And third place, we got Romero 12, Jordan DeVoe, Jake Seeley, and Ryo the Great. Obviously, the 4 teams that have the exact same team. Maybe those guys looked at spoilers. I'm just saying, 4 guys, there's like 65 people in this pool.
Well, I'm glad to see Mark Amphivanasuk back up because he was week 1, he was killing it, and then we didn't really see much. So the resurgence
Jason
here,
Jackson helped him out a lot this week.
I'm liking it.
And but yeah, it's definitely anybody's race here. It's between third and first is only 15 points, so You're only a couple bros, maybe a bros and a death threat away from
buddy, you're a Homasi trifecta away from getting up top.
Exactly. Any final little takeaways or anything you want to say?
No, it just seemed, as you mentioned, a lot of the bulk of the points get scored when they're inside the house interacting with each other. So this last episode, we didn't get a whole lot of that. We got a little bit of training sessions, which you don't score a whole lot of training sessions because they're allowed to be shirtless and typically they're actually training. So this next upcoming week, I'm looking forward to some more points being scored, maybe by the Black Stallions. We've seen they've had a bit of a week off, so to speak. And if this little birdie is right in the slightest sense, then I'm really hoping American Top Team hops back on. And one little tidbit. This random, you get to bring in an extra guy for the next episode. That makes things interesting.
That's what I was just about to say. It's very interesting. Me and Cody were actually pausing it, trying to figure out who it was. The Black Zillions guy, we didn't actually think about it. That could have very well been either Vicente Luque, who I have no idea who he is.
Right.
Or maybe Buscape. We didn't actually think about that.
We were trying to break down the haircut because you only got to see like the back of his head, and there is another spoiler that happened in that
very
preview.
Buscape.
We won't give away the other spoiler, although it does involve Steve Carl. We won't get to that.
You're just all about the spoilers.
The preview gave me the spoiler.
Oh, you're gonna get a lot of haters on this episode.
Well,
That's all
I
I'm
hope
saying,
not. I didn't
Cody.
give away any.
Everything. Your little birdies, all this left, right, and center.
That little birdie's let us down to this.
We better wrap it up before you tell everybody who wins the whole damn show.
No.
So. For our director, Chase Kaiser, doing all the great work behind the glass, and Cody Saptic, I'm Paul Shaughnessy, saying goodbye and good luck.